Hi, and thanks for logging on to the Daily Dvar. And here's a brand new halacha for you, and it is for Thursday, the second day of May. Here we go. Whenever you are traveling on Friday, on Erev Shabbos, it is a halacha that you must leave with enough time so that you could comfortably arrive before Shabbos. If you're, for example, leaving on a 4-hour trip on the highway, and you're leaving 4.5 hours before Shabbos, and you think plenty of time. The trip takes 4 hours, and I'm leaving 4.5 hours before Shabbos. That's not kosher. So it's not proper because anybody knows that one flat tire, one traffic jam, one unexpected something on the highway could quickly make your trip go from much more than the 4 hours expected to 5, 6, 7, or 8 hours. And then what are you going to do? So the halacha is there's not an exact time, but ample time would be the best way to say it. Like, for example, if you're taking a 4-hour trip, leave yourself 6 or 7 hours to make a 4-hour trip. That's more reasonable. Some rabbis would say even more time necessary. But don't ever try to just squeeze in a long trip right before Shabbos. I might just add that if you're doing a very short trip, you just want to take a 3-minute drive over to where you're staying for Shabbos, and it takes about 3 minutes to get there, and you're leaving yourself about 5 minutes to do it, that's also not proper. Because God forbid, if you get into a fender bender right there with a minute and a half to go before Shabbos, what are you going to do with all this stuff when the police come and they ask for the reports and everything? And lastly, I just want to tell you this interesting thing. If God forbid you ever are in one of those situations where all kinds of questions are arising, it's 12 minutes to Shabbos and you really need some basic questions answered about what am I supposed to do because I'm blah, 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 and there's 12 minutes to Shabbos. You're calling rabbis and no one's picking up the phone anymore because most of your good rabbis are on their way to shul already and they're not carrying their cell phone with them. A trick is not a halacha, it's a good trick, is that if you have any rabbi friends who are, let's say you're on the East Coast, and you have rabbi friends on the West Coast, and to them, it's 3 hours or more, it's way earlier for them, I think it's 3 hours, then for them, it's still the middle of the afternoon, and if you're really in a jam, although you should avoid all jams, but if you are in a jam, call someone who's in a different time zone, who hasn't accepted Shabbos yet, and that would be a quick way to get, hopefully, a good answer to your questions about your jam as Shabbos rapidly approaches. But try to avoid them is the main point. Thanks for logging on. Log on again tomorrow for more. Bye-bye.